Moon Knight is...
Oh, are we talking about Moon Knight? My favorite superhero of all time? How about I take this? No, don't struggle. You go over there. I'll do the review today. Hi, I'm Sir Superhero. Let's talk about Moon Knight. Designing Moon Knight is a unique task because he has two sides that you can lean into, either the magical superhero or the street level hero. Neither of those angles are wrong. In fact, the contrast is kind of the point of Moon Knight, so different pieces of media handle it differently. Most of his recent comic designs intentionally walk the line between the two. Then we have the MCU, which went very magical. He basically looks like a mummy in this. And then there's the Rivals design, which is probably the most tactical and armored up that Moon Knight has ever been in any form. Rivals in general is a very over-the-top game. Everyone looks crazy and stylized and overly detailed, so I'm not really complaining about that here, but for Moon Knight specifically, there are elements of it that are odd. On the one hand, subtlety has never been Mark Spector's thing. He wears white because he wants his enemies to see him coming. The insane overconfidence he puts out is intentional. He gets people scared before the fight even begins. This design does accomplish that. The armor, the big shoulder pads, the kind of angry expression that the hood helps make over his face, all that makes the Rivals Moon Knight look like a guy who is just about to murder you, but I wish there was a little bit more mystery to it. Like I said, this design is very much tactical Moon Knight, which the character has been over his history, but oddly, the Rivals lore for Moon Knight is way more magical. Khonshu has been present in map loading screens and storylines and even Mark's own voice lines since Rivals launched. This Moon Knight is very arcane empowered, but the design barely has any of that. Sure, he has the onks on his legs and the glowing moon on his chest and the eyes, but those don't really read as magic. He could just have LEDs in there. The game might be trying to go for the mystery, the classic question of whether Mark is actually empowered by a god or if he's just crazy, but I think they could have done a little more to add to that question. Imagine if, instead of the weirdly detailed mask, his face was just an empty black void and then the glowing eyes in contrast to the super detailed armor. That would add a bit of supernatural that the character really needs. So to summarize, I do like the Moon Knight design, but I think it just leans too far in one of Mark's directions. We need to pull a little bit back towards the magic side, and then I think it would have been perfect. It works for what it's going for, I just don't know if it was going for the right thing. A middle-of-the-road rating seems fair for that. I'll give this design a B. And again, I'm Sir Superhero. Come over to my channel if you want Marvel lore deep dives on Moon Knight and many other characters. And now I'll go on TBSkyen.